All right, everyone. Rorschach with the Game Reactionists here. I touched on this very briefly in my intro to today's Nintendo Direct here on September 12th, 2025. Doing something new to the channel where we're going to react to a reaction. We're not particularly a political channel, but unfortunately, video games and politics have intersected with each other for the better part of the last decade. Asmongold has done some great work. Full disclosure, big fan of Asmongold. Big fan of your content. If you happen to come across this video and don't like its representation, feel free to reach out to us and we'll work with you on that. Our views, my views, may not represent the views of Asmongold. We don't know each other, never interacted with each other. So I want to put that out there. I'm purely viewing this and putting on my own commentary over this and what he's uncovered for us. Let's check it out and we'll talk more.
Hi guys, it's me again, and today we're going to look at some of the interesting users on, you would never believe it, Blue Sky. That's right. And I don't know how this keeps happening, but yesterday after Charlie Kirk was brutally murdered, he was shot in the throat, bled out on stage in front of everybody.
And that is the main focus of the point of this video. The blatant murder of political conservative activist Charlie Kirk, and the response it's gotten. I have personally seen a lot of vile responses from individuals celebrating this. This was a man who spent his time debating on college campuses and expressing the difference of ideas with individuals who may oppose him. And he was unalived in cold blood. And these responses have also come from, these celebratory responses have also come from individuals within the game development space. You'll see in the background here, Grums on X, posting a quote that says, "Kill your local MAGA." This is a Blizzard artist and associate art director of Gearbox. This is just evil to its core and reprehensible. Let's continue.
Including his own family and his children. The number of people in the games industry who decided to go on to social media, particularly Blue Sky. A lot of these people, you have to understand that many of these people
and Blue Sky
run
is
off of Twitter because there's a level of discourse and
Blue Sky is an alternative social media platform that was created as an alternate form of Twitter, now known as X, which is basically an echo chamber of sorts for people who share the same ideologies and viewpoints.
Negativity that they can't really deal with. So the only place that they can really exist is on effectively a reservation like Blue Sky, where their opinions are protected and they're allowed to be vitriolic and nobody's allowed to tell them that they're wrong. Well, that's why we're making this video. We're going to be looking at some of the different people that, after the death of Charlie Kirk, decided to, and I'm not really going to be going through, everybody is going to draw the line at a different place. Here's where I draw the line. I personally have a big problem with people that are celebrating him being killed. I don't have a big deal if somebody says I don't like him or
All right, and I'm going to interject there as well. I think that any rational individual who has at least a singular functioning brain cell could get behind that statement, that celebrating the death of anybody who didn't deserve it, simply because you didn't like what that person said, is vile. You don't have to like what the guy said. You don't have to like what he stood for, but to expressly be happy that he was murdered in cold blood in front of his family is just reprehensible at its core. It's abhorrent. So yeah, I mean, he's right. Shocker. The most right, and I don't say that politically, but the YouTuber who's the most right on things happens to be right on this.
I never liked him or something like that. But for the people that are celebrating for him being killed, advocating for future violence, and saying that it's
and that's a
good
problem
thing,
too.
I think that's what crosses the line for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's what crosses the line for any reasonable, normal person. And so anyway, we're going to go through a number of people. And the first thing I wanted to start out with today is that maybe you guys remember this from the beginning of the year. It was a big content year, I would say that. And people might have forgotten, but there is a person who decided to advocate for killing your local MAGA. This was a Blizzard employee. And I want to say that...
And Blizzard is owned by Activision.
And a lot of other people made on him. This person lost their job and effectively has ruined their life.
And that's another thing, too. This is the side that has, for years come after conservatives and their viewpoints and tried to effectively ruin their livelihoods simply because of who they voted for, who they supported, or even things that they may have said themselves online. Remember the peak of cancel culture. And now it's come back full circle, it seems. So he's talking about this former Blizzard employee. Blizzard is a subsidiary of Activision, who is now owned by Microsoft as well. So we have a lot of moving parts to this machine here.
And I want nothing more than for the exact same thing to happen to the people in this video too. So I hope that after you guys see these individuals and you see what they're advocating for, you'll be able to go out and tell their employer, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not comfortable funding a video game that is employing people that are advocating for the brutal murder of a person in front of their family. And it's absolutely insane, but it's also not surprising. And so anyway, we're going to go through some of these. Obviously, I put out a post about this before. This was yesterday, if you guys want to make a list, and this is something I'll go ahead and just contextualize it all. So there's several game developers that are liking posts that are people mocking Charlie Kirk's assassination. We'll look at pretty much who these people are. We'll start off with this. These are people, Dennis. Let's look at this, and this is also on Blue Sky. I'm 6'5" and Vans, Blue Sky Social, sound effects associate at Bungie. So Bungie.
So I mean, here's the first culprit. This Dennis individual who works for Bungie, likes movies, Legos, and ripping card packs. I guess, and we'll hear about it shortly. But they had some vile comments about the death of Charlie Kirk.
The game that's trying to make Marathon, I guess they were too busy. Well, he's doing sound effects, not visual effects, so maybe he actually has to do his job rather than just copy-pasting something off of Twitter. But anyway, you've got somebody like this who's advocating...
What he's referring to real quick, too, is the fiasco regarding Marathon of visual effects producers copying the work of other artists and putting it into their games without giving proper credit here. We are not ones to do that. At least we try not to be ones to do that. Again, this is a video done by asmongold. He's done all of the legwork here. We're just here to comment on it. But yeah, let's go in and to what he said.
For and again, people might think that it's not a big deal. Oh, well, these people aren't making these statements themselves. These people aren't really saying anything that is that extreme. Here's the reason why it's a big problem. The reason why is because it creates an ecosystem and an environment where the actual extremism and the actual radical behavior is feeling comfortable. It feels comfortable in an environment where you have this blasé, passive acceptance of it. And
yeah,
you
he's
have
right.
People that are just basically complicit with it, but they're not openly saying it. They're just privately doing it, or they're just privately voicing their support as well. And, well, I guess in this case it's not private anymore, is it? And so anyway, we have a associate producer at Bungie who is liking and promoting tweets that are celebrating the death of a person being shot in the neck in front of their family and bleeding out profusely on the stage in front of millions of people. And so good job, Bungie. Really good winners you've got here.
Yeah.
Can't wait to play Marathon. I thought that my expectations for the game couldn't be lower, but somehow Dennis has managed to fulfill, exceed.
And
those
we on the
expectations,
channel
you could
will
say.
have nothing to do with
Also,
Bungie.
Kelly, senior producer at Sucker Punch, amateur cosplay armor, D&D enjoyer, source of corgi pics, they and she. Okay. So we have also, and you're going to see this word, this term, Sucker Punch, a number of times. We're not talking about the
Sucker
action,
Punch is
but,
a
we're talking about
a famous developer.
This is the company
They've got a
that
game
makes the
coming
game,
out.
or that has-
They've
is
got
making
Ghosts
the
of
game
Yotai
Ghosts of
coming out,
Yotai.
or Yotai.
Ghosts of Yotai, and this is also important to keep in mind, is that the voice actress for the game, for the character itself, has gone multiple times on record making the most deranged, stupid comments like defunding the police.
Yep.
She's just your typical like libtard, insaniac, moron, retard, right? It's not really that complicated. But what it really indicates is that there's a culture in this company and there's a culture in this environment where this type of radical, violent behavior and language is normalized. You have multiple people at the company that are all saying these things, and we're going to get to the other ones too. This is another person here also that works at the company, and so you can see right here, obviously this is them retweeting or posting something that they did with the game, and then right after that, I hope the shooter's name is Mario so that Luigi knows his bro got his back. And I've been noticed that Twitter has noticed me from the, I've been told that Twitter has noticed me from the, across the room. Well, we certainly have.
Yeah, I mean, this is just reprehensible. There's no excuse for this. Again, you know, we live in an environment, I certainly work for an employer where if I were to, you know, if my employer were to find out about any of my leanings, one way or the other, and it could negatively impact the brand, so to speak, they would certainly cut me loose. And you know, even this, just you see it in the name, Drew punching Nazis till I die. It's just I'm confident this person's never punched anybody ever in their life. You know, they're cosplaying as some, you know, real activist, but this person has probably never done anything productive with their life. Certainly not to the likes of Charlie Kirk, who was actually going out there and you know, putting himself into the lion's den, so to speak. But you see these comments, they're just reprehensible. You know, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. I mean, you know, and then they try to, if standing up against fascism is what cost me my dream job I held for 10 years, I would do it 100 times stronger. So I'm thinking that this person was let go.
And they're openly advocating for on public platforms and promoting and celebrating the murder of a random person. This is disgusting. It's really disgusting. And in my opinion, I don't think that it should be tolerated. And that's the reason why I'm making this video.
No, it shouldn't be.
Everybody should try to message anybody that works at this company, anybody who, you know, like any sort of PR, any management, you know, anything like that. Let them know that you don't want to support a company that employs people that celebrate the murder of innocent people just for exchanging ideas. This is a disgusting, disgusting thing to do. And you can see also, and I think this is a systemic problem at the company itself, whenever you have three people, the voice actress and then these two other people that are also doing this, I think that it's very obvious that this company has been infected with the same kind of moral rot that many other video game companies have unfortunately been affected by. And so you have also Zibs, they, them, always a very good indicator.
Not even a name.
Mental,
Sib is not a name, or
awareness
Zib.
and morality. A producer at Magic the Gathering. So this person works at, I'm assuming, Wizards of the Coast. And they're working at Magic the Gathering Arena. Previously also at... Wow, what are the coincidences? Wow, what are the odds of that? What a coincidence. And so what you've got here, this is, again, another person who is celebrating this type of violent behavior. And I think that, again, people need to make their voices known and make them heard, that this is just simply not acceptable. This is not normal. This is not what average people want.
And you look at all these other game devs who are liking these kinds of posts, who may not even be saying anything about it directly, but by liking these kinds of posts, it really speaks to the types of people that these are.
It could be a little bit like cancel culture, and I want to say that it absolutely is.
Yeah, and it is cancel culture. This is 100% cancel culture.
Who would lie.
But this is, in my opinion, this is vindicated, because this is a cancel culture that's coming after these people who are expressly trying to promote violence. They want to promote violence. They want horrible things to happen to people that disagree with them. And these people, in a polite society, there is no room for people like this in a polite society. You know, if you want a polite society, you cannot just actively go after and hope for violence, physical violence against people who disagree with you. Skip ahead a little bit here. And again, these are people that like the posts.
Other thing is that if you work at one of these companies and you have one of these individuals that works at your company, you do have a recourse to this, and that's calling and talking to HR.
Yeah.
Because the fact is that HR
it creates a hostile environment,
and it doesn't operate in their best interest either. It operates in the best interest of the company. Because
Correct.
These people would justify violence against anybody who disagrees with them. And just because you think you know them doesn't mean...
I am purposely skipping along here, again, just for posterity's sake. I'm not trying to take asmongold out of context on anything. His full video will be linked in the description below, so if you want to see the full video, go for it, check it out. But he's right on pretty much everything so far. Like, if you work for a company and you find out about somebody who's celebrating this, yeah, you need to go to HR, because it creates an unsafe, uncomfortable working environment. I can't imagine what somebody may be feeling right now who maybe not even been a supporter of Charlie Kirk, maybe not even a supporter of conservative ideals, but just, you know, an outright honest, decent person. You know, if this were me and I was around people like this, I would want to get out of the situation as soon as possible. And I shouldn't have to lose my job or quit my job because somebody is creating a hostile work environment.
They wouldn't do the exact same thing to you. And this is them. This is the game that they're making right here. And you can see that they've made no statement about this.
And that's really telling too.
If these people made a degrading comment towards the trans community, for example, or towards the black community, for example, do you think Sucker Punch would have immediately fired them and made a statement? I think so, absolutely.
Yeah.
But for some reason, these people are protected. And the reason why they're protected is because there's a lot of other ones at the company that feel the exact same way that they do. That's the only... A couple of days ago about Ghosts of Yotai, and you can see 1,000 comments on this. Your senior dev at Sucker Punch is a violent leftist, etc. And these are more comments here. Never let up the pressure. Never, ever, ever do that. Keep this pressure up until these people lose their job.
Cancel your pre-orders, especially with Ghosts of Yotai.
Take a break.
I mean, first off, this game, you know, was going in a direction it didn't need to go in to begin with, okay? But even if you want to disagree with me on that, the fact that these types of people are working for these game developers, why would you want to support that? Why would you want to put money into their pockets? And that goes beyond Sucker Punch as a whole, right? Like that goes down to the individual level of these employees that work for Sucker Punch. Why would you want to ensure that these people are validated at all? Why would you want to give them their bread and butter? I don't understand that. I don't agree with it. And so he's right. You should condemn
Relax, pat yourself
vote with your wallet.
Wait for him to get another one, and then do it again. And that's the only way that you should treat these animals. And that's exactly what they are. You shouldn't view them as people. You shouldn't view them as a person with a political disagreement from you. These are violent animals that are trying to destroy the last good thing that we have, which is the open ideas of political discourse. And they're celebrating murdering people for doing it. Go to HR and file these complaints legitimately with them. There are certain legal things that they have to do, and in some cases, these people will pretty much lose their job for sure if enough people are discussing it. And you have also some people make comments like this. It's wild how the woke right, like asmongold, grums and others, showing themselves to be what they hate, authoritarian freaks that want to censor and silence anybody they despise. Yeah, I do. I do. I think that anybody who's advocating for killing people over speech like this should be censored. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is just normal.
There are free speech clauses, by the way. You cannot.
This trick that a lot of people
you cannot. You cannot have a call to action and have that protected by free speech. If you are calling for violence and violent action, that is not protected by the First Amendment. Okay. So anybody who's disingenuously making statements like these, they have no clue. They are so far removed from reality. And yes, that should be censored. 1,000%.
Like to play, which is they try to use your own language and use your own morality against you. These people don't care about freedom of speech.
No, they don't. They never did.
They don't care about any of that. They're simply trying to weaponize your values and use them against you
absolutely.
in order for them to fulfill their own goals.
And I will say, this is something that's been done on either side of the aisle. This isn't anything new.
Do they hold these values?
But
and if the answer is no,
I think it's safe to say within the past 10 years,
because this person is simply
the pendulum has largely been favored to one side over the other. And if you want to disagree with me or debate me on that, that's fine, but you're simply wrong. You simply don't know what's going on in society right now.
These people don't care about freedom of speech. The only time they bring it up is whenever they're trying to co-opt the person who does care about freedom of mocking. And there's another one here. This is the voice actor for Diluc in Genshin Impact. I hope they receive the same care that the average American citizen would get in the same situation. Really? So they're just going to fall down and die. Somebody gets shot in the neck like that with their blood like spurting out.
I mean, there's
no health care. You're not coming back from that. At least not anytime soon.
At least if he goes out, he went out doing what he loved,
so
being
anyway,
a bigot.
At least he goes out doing what he loved, being a bigot. Yeah, of course you have more comments like this, more people like this. And if true political efforts permanent, every post you make goes out to the public firehouse, captured by someone somewhere. The delete button doesn't do what you think it does. And so anyway, we have a lot of people, obviously, that are starting to say stuff, live by something. So she's obviously trying to make a statement of live by the sword, die by the sword. This is what, and I think that this is a very revealing statement. And I think this is going to be the last comment that I'm going to look at here, is that this statement's actually extremely revealing. Because what it's saying is that, from her perspective,
Charlie Kirk spent his life's work and all of his energy and time targeting out groups while arguing for a world in which gun massacres would be easy to enact, plentiful, and inevitable, and he became famous and wealthy doing it, and we're now not supposed to mention that because it's not polite.
And that's really what these people want. They want to bully, push, fight, and if it comes down to it, kill you if you disagree with them. And that's why whenever somebody does do something insane like this, all of these people try to do mental gymnastics about why it was somehow justified. anyway,
Right.
I want to let you know that this is definitely not the only amount of them that there are. I'm sure there's plenty more.
Yeah.
And so
Through across
if
all
you
employers. I
want
mean,
to
there are teachers,
express and show any of these other people,
government
and you wanna
employees
post one
celebrating
of their
this.
comments or anything like that,
And
I would recommend anybody to go on over to Roach Ranch. This is a comment right here. Sorry, not comment. Community right here that I made on Twitter. I do not really moderate this at all, and if you guys want to post the different public comments that are being made by these different developers or these different people that are working in media celebrating this, and collectively we can contact their employers, contact the people that are around them, and have them get fired from their job. And do not, for even a second, think that this is not fair. It is absolutely fair. These people have been doing it to people like me for the better part of 5 years, and it's time the shoe goes on the other foot. They're disgusting, they're celebrating violence, and there shouldn't be any space for this in any sort of a polite society. But anyway, crazy things going on over at Sucker Punch Productions. Really, really crazy stuff. With that many weirdos and freaks working at the company, I wonder what this game's going to be like. I kind of don't want to know, but actually I kind of do. I think it'll be great content, but for all the wrong reasons. So anyway, guys, that's about all I've got for today. I did promise I would go through all.
And so there you have it. You've got Asmongold's reveal of what these developers are doing. Now, I do believe, 1 second here. Game. Now, I do believe there was a recent update. Here we go. So, one of the developers of Ghost of Yotai has been fired. And it was this Drew individual. So it's just you played the game, and you lost your quote unquote dream job, and for what? To make yourself look like a good person to people that agree with you on the internet. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. There's really not else to say. This has been a really it was a really difficult week regarding certain events, and this certainly doesn't help. And video games are one of my most treasured hobbies, and I'm confident Spectre would agree with this. It's something that we are very passionate about. For our entire lives. Anybody who's visited the channel, seen our game rooms, seen the things that we've collected throughout a period of a lifetime, would know that to be sincere. And this is a hobby that I share with my own family. And to think that Charlie Kirk's daughters will never see their father again because of somebody that's just that unhinged, it is truly heartbreaking. I shudder at the thought of my children never being able to see me again, especially under such violent circumstances. I don't want this channel to become a political channel, but unfortunately people like this Drew, or these developers from Bungie or Wizards of the Coast or Microsoft or Sucker Punch, they want to politicize everything and destroy the hobby itself. You want to have your beliefs, that's fine, but you don't have to interject it into everything, and you certainly don't have to celebrate when a person lost their life over this. So if you want to sound off in the comments, that's fine. I'll be honest, I don't see my self-respect being tolerant or about any whataboutisms. We're not going to entertain that. The message is This behavior is abhorrent. This action is abhorrent. It's pure evil, point blank, period. And if you want to say anything to the alternative, keep it to yourself, because we really don't care. We don't want to hear it. We're not going to entertain it. That's going to do it for today's video. I'll have the link to asmongold's video in the description if you want to check out the whole video. Check out his channel in general. I think he's very entertaining. And that'll do it. Hope everyone has a safe and prosperous weekend. We'll catch you guys next time.